Welcome to Quick Tips. So in this one I'm just going to go over all the various methods of sub-object selection. I'll start over here in the command panel and I'll show some of the other selection methods up here in Graphite. Of course all the Graphite stuff is up here as well, but I stick to the command panel for a lot of stuff, just force of habit I suppose. Right, so I'll just start off with the basics of the selections. Some of the newer ones. So now you can just double click on an edge and it'll select the loop. So that was, I think, in the last couple of versions that was introduced. It's dead handy. So you can, hold control then and add. Obviously alt, then you can't double click to take away, but so that's selecting edges. And you can't do it for verts, but verts and faces, you can click a vert or a face and then you can either go down along the loop or across the ring and then hold shift and that'll select the row. You can do the same, then you can hold shift and keep going same way as you could with edges with double clicking. So that works for faces as well. Select the face, hold shift either here or here or here, and you can just keep adding to it. The odd time it guesses incorrectly, well, not incorrectly, but it guesses a selection you don't want, so just be mindful of that. So that this is another quite a handy method, the select and then shift to select the the ring of the loop. It was only added recently as well. So another thing you really want to know is, say we have is converting from one selection to the other. So if you have a face selected and you hold down control and click on the other sub objects, it'll select the edges that are attached to that face. Same with the verts. So just hold control and you can click between the different sub objects. So you can see there, for instance, I had 4 verts and I control clicked on edge. So obviously these edges here are attached to these verts, so it selects them as well. And then obviously these faces are going to be included in the next selection. So sorry. Right, so you can see where this might be handy here. If I wanted to try and double click that loop, I can't select the loop because it's interrupted here by an n-gon. So what I could do is just select this face and then hold down control and that'll select the loop edges that I want. So another little handy hotkey is, let's say you have some faces selected. If you hold down alt and shift and click the other sub object, it'll select the border edges or verts, alt and shift or verts of that face selection. And then you can also hold control and shift and that'll select the contained edges or verts within that selection. So that's alt and shift. So there's obviously only one vert there contained within that selection. So we also have grow and shrink, and that's basically it. You have your marquee selection, and you can choose from these other ones as well. I don't really use many of these, but you can play around with them. That's a circle marquee selection. This can be handy, just like a polygonal sort of a selection. Then we have that's just like a lasso selection, and this is like a paint selection. So sometimes these can come in handy, but I don't really use them that often. The odd time maybe. So the grow and the shrink can be handy, and obviously holding down control to change between the different sub objects. So you just have to get into a mindset and see where these different tools are going to be needed to make your selection life easier. Right, so we'll jump up over into graphite. Down here in the selection tab, we have first we have tops. So you can see these extruded faces here. If I click tops, and this one here, it's going to select obviously the tops. So you know that can come in handy. Then we've open. So that's going to select, in this case, faces that are borders, if you will, or open faces, open edges. So if I was on vert, you can see here also there are different options change depending on which sub-object you're in. So go to vert, and it'll select the tops there, and these ones in here. Then we have sorry, a quick selection of non-quads. You can see any faces here that aren't quads, angons or tries will be selected. This here is just you can copy and paste selection sets, so you can store them with a copy, paste them back in. There's other options here. I advise checking out all the tool tips and whatnot. Then we have concave, so it doesn't appear to when you click it, but you can up this spinner here, the tolerance, and you can see in relation to faces around it what will be considered concave. So obviously the more detailed your mesh, that'll affect it even more. So then we have angle here, just for selecting based on obviously the angle of the normals. And you have this is quite a handy one here, by half. So this isn't a symmetrical mesh, but let's say we just create a quick box here with a couple of segments on it, and you can see then I'll just convert it to an editable poly. You can see here by half, so on the x-axis there, select half, and then you can invert your selection. Same for y, z, and just grow up from perspective. It'll start obviously closest to you know, whatever view perspective is positioned in, and grow from there. And this one down the bottom, I find myself using this for checking meshes and things like that. Obviously you can use non-quads, but for more in-depth sort of features here you can use this. So we'll just go back to the cylinder, and we can select so equal to 4 sides. You see it selects everything bar the non-quads. Sometimes if I make the mistake of if you have isoline display on and you collapse, you'll see the mesh gets all crazy looking. That's because the hidden verts and isoline display were baked down. So if I go to vertex, you'll see every single edge has been divided in half with a vert. The vert's been inserted. So to get rid of them really quickly, you can just say equal to 2, and then I'll select all them, control backspace to get rid of them. You see obviously it's got rid of these here because they only were sharing 2 edges. So that's pretty much most of the selection tools. I rarely use any of these, the odd few, you know, here and there, but mostly just the methods I described earlier on. I find myself using mostly them when I'm modeling. So I think that's about it there for this quick tips. Alright, cheers, thanks, good luck.